You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Hi, we are Enterprise-Splaining, the podcast where we explain Star Trek Enterprise to each other and to you. I'm Maria, and these are my co-hosts, Bill.
Hello.
And Jamie.
Hi.
Today, our mission is a second contact. Last week, I told Jamie and Bill what happened in the Star Trek Enterprise episode, Judgment. They have now watched the episode and are back with their thoughts, so make sure you listen to last week's episode before you listen to this one. Before we get to the episode, though, a little reminder, we have merch. Check out the ESO Network TeePublic store at esonetwork.com, where you can get Enterprise-Splaining logo t-shirts and the very adorable Enterprise-Splaining Porthos Appreciation Society shirts. All the cool kids are wearing them. So, last week we talked about the episode Judgment, where Archer was put on trial by the Klingons for helping some starving refugees, and those refugees were running from the Klingons who had shown up on their planet, taken all their resources, left and never come back. And then the Klingons were mad because Archer helped the refugees escape, and Archer's Klingon advocate mostly just wanted him to take Judgment and get killed, but Archer managed to convince him to help him to tell his side of the story, but he was still found guilty, and he and the advocate were both sent to the dilithium mines on Rurapente. At which point, T'Pol bribed some Klingons officials and got Malcolm to come rescue Archer, but the advocate chose to stay and serve his one-year term because Archer had inspired him to become a better Klingon and fight for actual justice. So, what did you guys think of this episode?
At the top of my notes, I just wrote half-baked in big letters.
I thought that this was actually a pretty solid episode of Enterprise. Was it a solid episode of Star Trek in general? Probably not, but first of all, to start with positivity, I thought that the camera work and lighting on this episode were amazing. Like, they did a lot of push-ins, like, the lighting was very dramatic. It wasn't just like they went into the Klingon Judgment chamber, and it wasn't just like well lit and flat like they sorry, I have hiccups. It wasn't well lit and flat like they normally do. Like, people were in shadows and stuff like that, and when they showed Archer, it was extremely close up. So yeah,
that's so interesting, because when we watched this, Steven was like, why is everything so bright? Like, we literally, as soon as we watched this, after we watched it, Steven insisted on going back, and we went to Undiscovered Country to compare. And like, it is true. Right. Like, it's so much dark. Like, the Klingon court was so bright and light, and the same with Rurapente. I felt like it was really bright and too well lit. So it's interesting that you thought the opposite.
Okay.
One problem with the close-ups on faces is that the makeup was awful. I mean, we did get Star Trek's traditional blackface Klingons.
Yeah.
Especially Doros, which, like, if you want Klingons to have darker skin, just hire people that have darker skin. They exist. We're not talking about like Andorians where like there's no
blue people.
Blue-skinned actors. This is not an Enterprise problem. This is a Star Trek problem. I mean, that was like Worf's son on TNG. I looked him up once and he is a blonde hair, blue-eyed child.
Brian Pitzal, yeah.
But especially Doros, they made him so dark, and the makeup, it looked like he had grease on his face.
Yeah.
Well, we need to talk about Duras for a second, because as we know from our friends at First Flight Pod,
coming back.
Oh, he is going to come back.
Duras is going to be a major player here. He makes his first appearance here. Didn't make much of an impression.
I didn't find him as annoying as I would have thought based on what they've said about him.
Right.
But I guess if he comes back, that's why, because he's probably more annoying. I mean, he was like a little like, not slimy is not the right word, but he like Weasley.
Just whiny. Yeah, Weasley and whiny. I agree. I think maybe that's part of it. Like, they want to show that he's like mad at Archer. I'm assuming that plays into like he has a grudge against Archer because Archer made him get demoted to whatever, and made him look like an idiot. So I guess that's it. But yeah, he did come off to me as really whiny.
I thought the judge's clacker ball was amazing. Like,
Oh my
his,
God, I
like,
love that
gavel
thing.
the sparks thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's like giant metal ball, and then when he hits it down, there's like a puff of smoke.
Mm-hmm.
It goes poof.
Yeah. As they're doing their testimony, obviously, it's sort of a Rashomon situation here. And we get the bullshit aggressive Klingon version where Archer's like, "This is the Starfleet battle cruiser Enterprise."
Right.
I really wish they would have leaned into that more.
Agree.
Like, but then when we get Archer's testimony, which I think we're supposed to assume is the truth, we get the Archer bullshit version where everybody is competent on the crew. I really wish they had leaned into both versions more.
The thing is, this episode was trying to do too many things at once.
Agreed.
Like, if it had just been like this, it's going to be about the court case. We're going to do like the different versions and the different witnesses, and everybody has a different version. Like, that would have been really fun.
Yep.
And it like started to do that, but then it's like, but we also got to see his version, and then also we got to go to the prison planet. Like, it's
Right,
and
we
we have to have this
Rupente.
thing with the lawyer. Like, it's trying to do everything that the movie did, but the movie had a movie amount of time to do it in, and this is a TV episode that's what, like 48 minutes,
Right.
and it just was trying to do too many things.
How was Archer arrested?
That's the problem, is because they had to do too many things, they didn't have time for basic story elements. Like,
Right.
how did Archer get there? Why
Right.
did the Klingons even care about these refugees? Like,
Right.
there were just plot holes that made no sense.
Yeah, there were just things that you had to just fill in on your own. Like, I guess the Klingons didn't want to be embarrassed by these refugees escaping, or like, who knows? But like, because we know that the aliens that we know, the Vulcans, the Klingons, the aliens that we know from other Star Treks aren't the same here. So like, and that is okay. Like, it's okay for them to be earlier versions, but we don't know what to expect. So it's still asking us to fill in all of those blanks without having the context of what's going on during that time frame.
Yeah, like, I don't think I've ever said this before. We always talk about how the episodes often feel too long, how there's too much like blank space, but I almost feel like this needed to be a two-parter.
Yeah, I almost said that, but then I was like, but then we would have had like a whole
then we would have had to
episode
have
of Rupente.
two of this.
But that's really what they should have done, is had a full episode at Rupente. Like, that would have made sense.
This gets into, and we're recording these out of order, so in the next episode that you'll hear, Jamie talks about like how far are they out, and like the distance that they've traveled doesn't make sense. In the pilot episode of the show, they go to Konos, they go to the Klingon homeworld.
Right.
And now
I was thinking about that, but this is not that planet.
a year and a half later, no, they don't go to Konos, but they're still they have to go back to the Klingon Empire for this trial.
Yeah.
Oh wait, so you're
Yeah,
saying they
doesn't-
weren't on Kronos?
No, they were not.
I've checked.
Because
yeah.
I complained about this, and Eric was like, Jamie, they weren't on Kronos.
Oh, that's my bad, because I said they were. I assumed that was Kronos.
No, which is why the magistrate and everybody didn't know about him meeting with the
that
chancellor
makes
and
a lot
like
more
all of that
sense.
stuff from the pilot. But they're still back in the Klingon Empire.
Empire.
So
So they're at some Klingon planet.
the geography is
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense.
For as much as like a lot happened in this episode, but it was so scattered that it's not like there's not that much to really.
Because each thing they didn't have enough time to spend on it because they had so much story to get through. I mean, even like they go to this cool prison planet and we get like one scene of them, and then just Malcolm shows up and you can leave.
Boing, fixed. Like, it was so strange.
Did you think the refugees were Cardassians?
Oh no.
Oh.
I realized they're not because they don't have the
Oh
spoon
yeah,
nose,
we saw
like
them. They're definitely not, but
But they
definitely
had
not, but
similar
they had all of the
features,
facial
you're
structures, but they
right.
didn't have the spoon heads. But yeah, I thought that would have been an interesting thing. It was like, oh, we need to rescue these Cardassians from the Klingon.
That would have been
Imperium.
interesting.
I liked seeing Klingons with jobs other than warrior. Like I really liked
Yep.
that,
Me too.
and I really hope that we get more of that because I do feel like past Star Trek to this point has never been particularly good at that. They'll have some of it,
Right.
but for the most part, we rarely get to see Klingons that are not warrior Klingons.
I agree. During that scene, I was sort of like, I mean, I guess it does make sense.
Like,
that
of
there
course
are
they need
others,
lawyers.
But of course there are, but I never really thought of it. I always
Farmers,
did think of them as sort of,
lawyers and a judge and like all that
warriors.
stuff.
Yeah.
My question is that when they serve that hunk of meat to Archer in the prison, and I understand that he's in a prison and he's in a Klingon prison, it's like, oh, that looks really good.
That doesn't
I'd
look
like to
terrible.
try that. I would probably dig into that. I would like get a little spoon and dig the marrow out and spread that onto some bread.
Yeah.
Sorry, spread that onto some bread. It'd probably be amazing.
Wouldn't Archer busting out of prison cause like an international incident?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He is an
Fugitive.
Yeah, basically like once, and I kind of, maybe that's how we're gonna get Doris back.
There has to be some consequences. Well,
Because if they
I
ever
know, I'm
come
saying
across
that like an
Klingons
idiot.
again,
this
he
has
escaped from Klingon jail.
I mean, but we know that a war is coming between the Klingons and the humans, so this is a thing that isn't going to be like.
Yeah, fair.
It's just they're.
Oh my
sort
God!
Of trying to.
What if Archer is the cause of the
entire
war?
But it does feel like that is another, like, the Klingons and humans just had ongoing, little skirmishes that cause, and trouble, and this is just another one of those, and that does kind of fit. So it's kind of interesting. But who knows with this show? Maybe the next Klingon episode, they're going to be all fine. It could just as easily be that.
My final thing that I had was that I really hate the lesson, the whole thing with the lawyer where Archer's like, oh, it's like individual people are the people that like change things and make things better. And then he convinces the lawyer to like do his year in prison or whatever so he can get out and go change Klingon society. And I really, really hate the like great men theory of history, which is exactly what that is positing. Which is like we're going back to Thomas Carlyle here. Like this is like an actual theory that there's like these great men that because they're so good and like smart and just like superior to everybody else that they're so amazing that they just change history and move it into a better direction. And I just like don't believe that that's how the world works. It feels like a rewriting of history to me.
Right.
I don't think that's what they're positing this. I think he's telling them Archer is telling them as, sure, you're this old prosecutor, but you can do the right thing.
You can make changes.
Yeah.
Individuals can make changes.
See, I wouldn't have minded if that was it, but it felt like it was more because he did say like when he was saying how like human society got better and the lawyer guy whose name I don't remember asked, he's like, it's because like a few people. And it really felt like he was doing just this like individuals, which to me is always like the person that gets the credit. There's always like a zillion people behind him, like
well, sure.
usually women and people of color.
Work.
And I just feel like Archer is being like a few people like decided to, and to me that feels different than just like an individual can do something or like you as a person can do the right thing or can try or like be an activist.
So here's my thought on it. Like I agree that is problematic, but I do think that there is an argument to be made that says Archer was trying to tell that guy the thing he needed to hear right then and there, which was an individual that is you can make a difference. That is make a difference right now, make a change right now. He was trying to convince him that he could do something.
You don't need to wait for a great person. You can make a change. Yeah.
I mean, yes, you can make the argument that it was Archer talking about history, but you would also make the argument that Archer was trying to manipulate the guy into doing the thing that he wanted him to do, which would be a logical thing to do. Like that is what he needed him to do. He needed him to speak up for him.
I guess. I just also just believe that Archer.
Oh,
we've seen Archer with the like hero worship about Zephyr Cochrane and even his own father. Like, I believe that Archer believes in great men theory. And I believe that he thinks that he is one of those great men. And I believe that the show believes in it and believes that he's one of those great men.
Star Trek in
and like,
general
we are going to get the Federation's going to happen because of Archer.
Oh, for sure.
Because Archer is the great man that's going to create the Federation. That's going to like lead us to creating the Federation. with his wise words and his speeches.
About gazelles.
Yes.
So now it is time for the segment Memory Alpha, where we talk about a weird or funny page that Jamie finds on Memory Alpha. Jamie, what you got?
You guys remember when we were discussing turbo lifts?
Yeah.
And are like, what's a turbo lift?
Yeah.
What is a turbo lift?
So I checked the Memory Alpha page for turbo lift. By the way, it also says, or turbo elevator. I don't know if that's like a TOS thing. I've never heard turbo elevator.
Elevator.
Was
Never
a
heard of it.
device that provided rapid transport with both vertical and horizontal transportation for personnel
Okay.
through a system of turbo shafts.
Curious to see how this is a Memory Alpha episode.
We'll get there.
Okay.
Okay, Memory Alpha does not have to be body parts.
About body parts.
It's just interesting, funny pages, and we will get to what makes this interesting or funny. There's an Enterprise reference after this where it says NX class starships needed only one button to be pressed to specify which deck to travel to. Remember, I've pointed out that they have the buttons.
Mm-hmm.
You did.
I do remember that.
And then it talks about how then they later on Constitution class they added handles and then later voice commands, blah blah blah. But the real reason I'm bringing this up today is because I forgot to mention something 2 weeks ago during our second contact about the crossing that I have to bring up now. And this is basically an excuse so I can do that. So in the past, when I said Enterprise has buttons, I was like, they have buttons on the turbolift and the buttons say nothing on them and are the same color as the wall.
Yep.
I was wrong because in the crossing, there was a close-up of the turbolift buttons. And guys, wait till you see what is on these buttons.
Oh, I can't wait.
Me and Eric, we kept trying to rewind and pause, and it couldn't. It was like too blurry. But then afterwards, he checked the gallery where we get our
screen caps?
the Blu-ray screen caps, which we use for our like episode things.
Trek Core.
Yeah, and found the screen cap of it. And guys, wait till you see this.
I'm so excited.
This is gonna blow your mind.
What?
Okay, so
What the fuck?
let me describe this to you. It's 5 buttons. The top button is like an off-white, and it says 15 on it. And then the next 4 buttons are like in a square, like a painted square that is like, it's white and it says like something 13 aux, like AUX, like auxiliary, like you would have on like an old television.
God.
Like, why aux? Okay, wait. And then these 4 buttons, they're gray. And they all have numbers on them. So remember, the first button was white and said 15. The second button says 18. The third button says...
It says 030.
Yeah, it says 030. The third button says 029. We're going backwards now. And these leading zeros are amazing. And then the final button says
104.
I can't see.
104.
Thank you, Maria. Sorry, I can't. I got like second screen and it's too far away from me. 104. 15, 18, 030, 029, 104.
They pulled these buttons off an old visual keyboard, like an old light processor, and just put them on.
That
there,
is
and it makes no
100%
sense,
what this is.
Yeah.
But I love that they bothered to have a close up.
And the bottom button is slightly darker and is the one that says 104. And I'm going to just assume that is the emergency button to get to 10 forward. Even though 10 forward does not exist on the NX-01.
That they did not bother to even like paint over this at all. And they filmed a close up of him pressing
Why
these
would
buttons.
they do that? How does this make any sense?
How does this work? What do these buttons mean? How do you use it? How do you tell the turbo lift where to go with these buttons?
I would like to go to 029. What does that mean?
Anyways, I forgot I had this last week and I forgot to show you
Incredible
guys.
research.
And I needed like an excuse to bring it up this week since I
Perfection.
forgot
Great
last
work.
week. So that is your memory alpha on turbo lifts.
Oh
Oh my God, I should add this photo I should add this photo to the page, the memory alpha
You
page.
absolutely should. What? Just with the
God.
what the fuck?
Okay. All right. I will have to do that.
The NX-01 was designed on a base 8 scale. where...
And that is the episode. Thank you for listening. Next episode, Jamie will be telling us about the episode Horizon. Special thanks to our producer, K.O. Myers at Particulate Media, to our friend David for the beautiful cover art, and to John Stephen King for being the voice of our computer. If you like the show, please rate, review, and subscribe on your podcast app of choice, and tell your friends about it. We really appreciate it. You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook as @EnterpriseSplaining, and on Blue Sky as @EnterpriseSplain. You can also email us any comments or questions, such as, if you had a whole episode, how would you escape from Rurapente? To enterprisesplaining@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. And if you'd like to...
I'd kiss a sexy lady that turns out to not be a lady.
Right? But not feel weird about it not
Yeah,
being a
and
lady.
not have like a weird homophobic reaction to it.
might be
Imagine.
Yeah. If you'd like to support this podcast, you can find us at Buy Me a Coffee as Enterprise Splaining. We will see you next week. Bye.
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 Man, they are 100% going to ban me from Memory Alpha.
Yeah, we should just take bets on when that happens.
And I
Stop recording.
need to... Oh yeah, stop recording. Where's my recording one? Where is it? There it is.
Reasons why you should be listening to the Modern Musicology podcast. 1. Rob is a music journalist and radio host. 2. Stephanie played drums in a 90s band called the Aquanettas and works at major record labels. 3. Anthony was once the webmaster of the official Marillion website. And 4. Alan is a drummer who played in Kiss, Heart, Bowie, and Kate Bush tribute bands. 4 hosts with different backgrounds, but all obsessed with music. Modern Musicology, the podcast for serious music fans, part of the ESO Network.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping at the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.